Hi friends, this is Jake here at Canadian Cutting Edge, and today we're taking a look at the CJRB Taiga. That's the J1903. It comes in 4 different colors of handle, 3 G10 handles, and 1 where it's got a carbon fiber laminate. And this gray color, I call it a blue-gray color or smoke gray, smoke blue color, is a very nice color indeed that I like quite a lot. And it's a cool knife. I got mine from White Mountain Knives, so can you. They've got the OD green and the carbon fiber laminate in stock right now, but you can click their notify me buttons on the other colors and they'll send you an email when they come back in stock. This is a good budget knife. It's under $40. The regular price is $39.99. You can get 10% off with coupon code CCE for Canadian Cutting Edge for anything at White Mountain Knives. And I think you might just like it. It's got right and left pocket clips, and it's a liner lock. D2 steel. Stick around. The full review's coming to you right now. As usual, the first thing I'm going to do is a little size comparison. Here is the Ontario Rat 1, very common knife. If you're not familiar with this knife, watch some reviews on it. It's a knife that's still available. It's been around for a while, and it's almost become an industry standard for a lot of collectors to get one of these knives because they are super comfortable in hand. And you can get them now with D2 steel for a couple of years now, or the original AUS 8 steel for a little bit less money. So if I line up the pivot pins, you can tell, the blade length is about the same. And the cutting edge, about the same length too. The handle's just a little bit shorter than the Ontario Rat 1. That Ontario Rat 1's got a big handle. If you got smaller hands, there's the Ontario Rat 2, which is the exact same knife, just shrunk down a tiny bit. Look at that color. This, I think on the video, is a pretty fair representation of the color that it is. This is sort of a gray, a deep gray here. Well, not too deep. And, this has got a bluish tint to it, to the gray. We got a stonewash blade. We've got a drop point here, a swedge across the top edge there, a high saber grind. It's a flat grind that comes up fairly high to the spine. Forward choil here you can put your finger on and get more precise work, getting closer to the edge of the blade. You could nick your finger on the edge of that a little bit because it's not very well protected. I wish they would have taken off a little bit more steel and brought it back right close to the handle. If that relief would be, the choil would be cut right back to the handle, it would also give you more substance for you to rest your finger on, because you could rest your finger on the side of the handle there as well, and that would give you a really good forward choil grip. If you've got something like a Dremel type tool, a rotary grinder tool, you could take a little bit of that steel off and make that super comfortable. I do modifications on my knives now and again, on knives that I like to carry an awful lot. The choil here also makes it so that it's easy to sharpen the knife right to the end of the cutting edge without getting into the plunge or onto the ricasso. Got a nice belly and a good straight flat area there. The sharpness of the knife, it's very sharp from the factory. This guy got very good marks. The grind angles, well, we'll talk about those in a little while. It's a little more shallow than I would have expected from CJRB. Not bad though. And that's why you see a fair bit of grind right there. It's because it's at a shallow angle instead of, the usual 20 degrees per side. It's quite a bit more shallow. Oh, I'll tell you, 70. I got 70 best score on the cutting edge. 200 is sharp. Smaller is sharper. Smaller number. Bigger number, more dull. There's no skeletonizing on the liners, and I wish there was. And that's because the balance point is back here. And if there was some skeletonizing to make this lighter, the balance point could be here where I would like it to be. I would like the balance point to be, right where you rest your index finger when you've got it on the handle. That makes it the most neutral, kind of weight available. Not bad though, because it's not very heavy. The G10's got a sort of coarse texture on it, You can see it on that angle there. Let's bring it a little closer. There you go. So that's nice. The screws are recessed. So there you go. You look straight down, you can't see the screw. Lanyard hole is right at the very back. Best possible place for a lanyard hole. And look at that. You've got a hole right here. And that's a body screw. They did what I like to see, and not a lot of companies are doing this. They're using the body screw as one of the screws for the pocket clips. And that means that there's less holes around. So on the left side, there's just one little hole there. It doesn't make the knife look bad. It doesn't ruin the show side, at least not in my opinion. And if you want to move the pocket clip to this side, you just have to take these screws out and move it around. Deep carry, like very deep carry. The body pins have that sort of column kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Design to them, that column kind of shape to them, like they're a big Roman column or something with the crowns on the ends. And I like having two body pins and the pivot screw. That gives it a lot of strength and stability. And it's a strongly built knife. The lockup is beautiful. Exactly what I like to see a brand new knife to be. There's lots of room for that liner lock to wear across over time. As the steel rubs on steel and slowly rubs the material away, it'll go all the way over to that side. And once it touches the other liner here, it's time to replace the knife. If you're really handy, there are tricks to make it last longer and, move it back up again. But it includes, squashing that steel a bit. And, then you can run into other problems. The little bit of a chamfer on the liner release right there makes it easy to get your thumb on there and push it over, because it's not a sharp edge, it's a flat edge that you're pushing on like that. So very easy to get that liner unlocked and then start to close the knife. There's their logo, CJRB, and then on this side, you see what they call the serial number, which is the model number, J1903, and the steel type D2. It's a good-looking stonewash, in my opinion. Not too coarse. It's a fairly fine stonewash, and it feels very smooth to the touch. There's a better look at that swedge. And then the tip of the blade. It's a nice, well-built knife. Good looks to it. Very practical design. This shape is a perfect EDC style blade. You can do puncture work if you need to, detail work on the tip. Good belly for, you could use this to do some minor skinning if you wanted to. A long straight edge here, to do other kinds of slicing. The flipper tab is a little bigger than it needs to be, but that makes a nice guard for your hand so that if you did use it to puncture into something, your hand's not going to slide up over the cutting edge, at least not easily at all. When the knife is closed, that's where the flipper tab sticks out right there. Like I said, a little bigger than it needs to be. There's no jimping on it or anything, but no problem at all. Every single time you want to open the knife, it's easy to do. Just pushing down on a slight angle, no problem. Or you can use the light switch method and pull straight back, and it opens very, very well. We've got ball bearings in here, which have great action, very smooth, lock up solid, no play, side to side, up and down. Alignment when you close the knife is perfect. Pocket clip is that deep carry. You do have the button tops on the screws. I've had no problem with my jeans getting caught on those screws. It goes to the full depth every single time. The pocket clip on the front edge here, you've got that sort of flattened top there. That makes it so it doesn't get hot in the hand when you've got your knife in hand like that, and it doesn't annoy your hand with pressure points. Right or left, quite comfortable. So let's see what it looks like when it goes into a pair of pants. So here we go, just slides in. Oh, that time it got caught. It's never gotten caught when I'm actually wearing the pants. You know, this is flat on a tabletop. I've got a camera looking straight down, and that changes things. But yeah, it is getting caught a couple times now in this display. So I don't know what to say. I guess it can get caught easier than it should. And actually, that space is a little bit smaller than I like. So that's one con here. I do prefer that if they're going to use this kind of fold over, that they either make more space between there or they use those flush screws so that they don't stick up. That's not that easy to fix at home. You can't just flatten it out and then rebend it at a bigger radius because you'll fatigue this steel and it'll become weak. And so the only thing that fixes that is if you got some other screws that were smaller screws, smaller heads to put in there. And but like I said, it didn't do that to me at all when I'm actually wearing the pants. And of course, I don't wear these because this is just a prop that I use. You know, I nailed some jeans onto a piece of wood to display what I'm doing. See, there you go. That time it went all the way deep. So very little knife showing out of the pocket as well. All right, now it's time to go over all the dimensions, the sizes, and all of that kind of information about this knife. And while I'm talking about that, this will be on the screen. 136 grams, 4.85 ounces. So just a little bit under 5 ounces, which totally fine with me. But I do wish there was just a slight bit of skeletonizing for the balance on it. 70 best for the sharpness from the factory. The length of the cutting edge, 8.29 centimeters. That's 3.26 inches, so 3¼ inches. Blade length, so tip to the G10, 8.95 centimeters, just over 3½ inches. The blade thickness, 3.18 millimeters, which is 0.125 of an inch, so 1/8 of an inch thick. The blade depth this way, 2.49 centimeters, which is 0.98 of an inch, so basically 1 inch this way. The thickness of the edge behind the grind, 0.61 millimeters, which is 0.024 of an inch. 0.61 millimeters. I think I probably said it correctly. Slightly thicker than I'd prefer, but not bad, especially with that shallow grind that they did on here. The grind angle, 14.8 degrees. And on this side, this side with the CJRB, 14.8 degrees. And the left side, 17.7 degrees. So I figure when I resharpen this knife, I'll do it at 17.5 degrees per side. 17.5 degrees per side with D2 steel, not a problem for your basic EDC kind of tasks. Now for the handle length is 12.09 centimeters. That's 4.76, so 4¾ inches. The grip area, so between my thumbs, 9.41 centimeters, 3.7 inches. The handle thickness, 1.36 centimeters. That's 0.534, not counting the pocket clip. So just over ½ inch thick. Perfect. Handle depth is 2.6 centimeters, just over 1 inch, 1.02. And when the knife is closed, the handle depth is 3.32 centimeters, 1.31 inches. And the total length when the blade's deployed, tip to the end of the handle, 20.94 centimeters, 8¼ inches, just under 8¼ inches, 8.24. So for 8¼ inches, 3.5 inch steel, not bad at all. So here's the knife taken apart. You can see we've got D-shaped pivot pin. So the side's cut out right there a little bit. And you can see right here that there's a flat side right there in the hole, so that this can't spin freely. But it's got a torque screw in it, so when you're using your screwdriver, if it just doesn't want to turn, don't overdo it and strip that out. Just try the other side. Ceramic ball bearings. And no skeletonizing. So there you go, that's the inside. I didn't mention it before. You've sort of got an index finger choil here, just a little bit of, a cutaway there to rest your hand in. Solid grip. Reverse grip is very comfortable in hand. Your fist grip, saber grip, forward grip, detail work kind of grip like this. Everything's very comfortable, and it's no jimping anywhere, but the G10 texture gives you a really good solid grip. There's a bit of a thumb ramp right there, and that helps give your thumb a resting spot right there. And just a bit of a dip there, so when you go forward, it also is a very comfortable spot to rest your thumb. I like this knife quite a lot. Going over the pros and cons again, pocket clip right and left with only one extra hole because you use the bobby pin for one of the screws. Awesome. Pocket clip using the button screws, not awesome, but okay. Great action. Solid lockup. The alignment, all those things. So the performance and the workmanship of the pivot area and everything is very, very good. Stop pin's a good, nice thickness. The lanyard hole placement is perfect. I do like inset lanyard holes, but that's not a problem. It's pretty big. You could put even 11-strand paracord through this hole, and it would be just fine if you like something really heavy. Another, not really a con, the flipper's a little bigger than it needs to be, but very functional, very useful. And the only other con is, if they would have skeletonized it a little bit, it would be a little bit lighter, but it doesn't have a weight problem, but the balance would be in a better spot. You can skeletonize these knives at home if you've got like a drill press. Just drill some holes in the steel on the liners. The steel on the liners is stainless steel, so it's hard, but it's not hardened steel. So if you've got really good drill bits, you shouldn't have too much of a difficulty getting some weight loss on here. We've got Torx screws, T8 for the pivot, T6 for the body screws. So there you go. That's this knife. I'm not sure how to say the name. The Taga is how I say it because I learned when I was a kid. The spelling is T-A-I-G-A. When two vowels go a-walking, that means they're side by side. The first one does the talking. So Taga, T-A-G-A is how it's pronounced, I think. I could be wrong because I'm often wrong with pronunciations. Thanks for watching my video. Thanks for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. And remember, guys, always cut towards your chum, not your thumb. Bye for now.